Hello, everyone. Welcome to myself, Max McGillivray from Beanstalk Global. We are on another broadcast with the fantastic team of the University of Northampton. I'm going to be very bold about it, promoting the Sustainability Summit. The Sustainability Summit is happening on the 15th and 16th of May, 2023. And we're putting so much positivity towards the summit because I think collectively we feel that there's going to be so much change that's going to come from this. And hence the theme, adapting to a changing world, identifying our shared sustainability challenges. There's so many questions and there's so many answers, but the way that the University of Northampton have created this summit is that there are going to be so many experts at the conference, and also the networking there is going to be, well, frankly, phenomenal. And so as part of this broadcast series, we're just having some of the key individuals from the University of Northampton and a couple of other key contacts talk to us about what they're anticipating from the summit, and also hearing from the team from the University of Northampton as to why we should join. So can everyone come on, please? So as everyone comes in, just reiterate, the summit is going to provide an opportunity for the university to make its rich expertise available to stakeholders to identify the best solutions to our shared sustainability challenges. Okay, so let's see who we've got on this broadcast today in no particular order. Kelly, ladies first, who are you, please, and who are you representing?
Good afternoon. My name's Kelly. I'm Kelly Shields. I'm representing the Fresh Produce Consortium. We're a trade association within the UK for fresh produce, and that will cover fruit, veg, cut flowers.
Excellent. And you're a very large organisation, Kelly, aren't you? Your positive tentacles don't just cover the UK, they're all over Europe, if not the world.
Absolutely, we have a very international perspective on it, and we cover entire supply chains, internationally, nationally as well. So, and that could be everybody from growers to shippers to ports to embassies. It's major retailers, it's wholesale markets. It's pretty much everything in relation to fresh produce.
And if I remember correctly, sorry, there wasn't meant to be an advertorial for the FPC, but if you put in fresh produce into Google, I think it's the first thing that comes up, Kelly, isn't it? The Fresh Produce Consortium.
I really hope so.
No, I think it is. Martin, who are you, please, and who are you representing?
Hi, everybody. I'm Martin Baxter. I'm Policy and External Affairs Director and Deputy Chief Exec at the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment. We're the professional body for people working in sustainability. We have over 20,000 individual members in over, I think, 115 countries around the world. We provide support for their people's skills developments, ensuring competence, and they're fantastic change agents doing the doing. So not just talking about it, but they're driving action in the companies that they work with. And we also have a number of corporate partners as well, and the university is one of them. So yeah, it's great to be with you.
And Martin, I do like LinkedIn, because when I looked at at your company profile earlier, you've got some 36,000 followers, which is a phenomenal number, and you can only achieve those sort of numbers if you're it's going to be my word of the day, authentic. People obviously following you for the right reasons, because they want to engage with you and they want to learn from you. So Martin, as well as Kelly, it's a pleasure to have you both on. So let's go round to some of our veterans of these broadcasts. So no particular order. Amin, who are you, please? I know we know, but tell everyone, just in case we've got some visitors in who aren't aware of who you are, please.
Yeah, thanks, Max. Hi, everyone. Amin, I'm a professor of systems thinking within the University of Northampton. I'm also heading a research center called the Center for Sustainable Business Practices. Thanks for having us, Max.
No problem. Ebenezer, who are you, please? And who are you representing?
Yeah, thanks, Max. And hello, everybody. My name is Ebenezer, Dr. Ebenezer Laryea. I am an associate professor at the University of Northampton, and I'm the chair of the planning committee for the summit. I work very closely together with Amin as a member of the Center for Sustainable Business Practices. Excellent.
And if you want a man who knows his way around the UK or Africa, he's Ebenezer would be the wrong way to describe you as a tour guide. He's a very mercurial individual, is Ebenezer. He can just get things done, and he's got this great ability of, well, look at what he and his colleagues have created. Let alone with the Fresh Pact initiative, but also this summit, which is not only going to be a success, but I think it's going to be rolling on for years to come. So we must follow Ebenezer and his colleagues. Over to Simon. Simon, who are you representing? And as a clue, it's one of the best produce companies in the UK, if not the world.
Thanks very much, Max. Hi, everyone. So, my name's Simon Derrick, also known as Denzel. I'm head of sustainability at a company called Blue Skies, and we make prepared fruit in factories in Ghana, Egypt, South Africa, Benin, Brazil, and of course in the UK. And we specialize in value adding at source. We make the finished products in the countries where the fruit grows.
And so we just say this in the green room about Blue Skies. They're sort of a social enterprise before social enterprises were all set up. And I'm going to embarrass the founder, Anthony Pyle, as we always tend to do, Denzel, on these sort of things, don't we? That's the mantra of Blue Skies for their sites in Brazil, Benin, Egypt, Ghana, and South Africa, and in the UK is. Denzel, help me if I get this wrong. Is people, margin, quality. It's all about people, but it's got to be a sustainable business model in the respect of the margin and the quality. And if you've ever got the chance to go out to Ghana, you must go and see the family that is Blue Skies. Help me, Denzel. Was it 4,500 people? An ecosystem of about 30,000 people that work off not the proceeds, the benefiting factors of that site in Ghana. Would that be correct, Simon?
Yeah, well, over 5,000 people as a group, 3,500 people at our peak in Ghana. So yeah, it's very much a community in itself, looking to ensure we maximise the impact that we have as an organisation. But you're right, we want to ensure that we're making a profit to keep the business alive. But we see profit as the oxygen that gives us the air that we breathe, rather than the reason why we do it.
Yeah, well done. And I think we might mention that it's on a previous broadcast that there's a very well-known agricultural conference in the UK called the Oxford Farming Conference. And on the first day, there were 500 delegates, and we were listening to the greater the good from the sector. Then the Princess Royal came in at 12 o'clock. And anyone who's ever seen her speak, she's a phenomenal speaker. She could just really read a room and the message. And the first thing that she said when she got up was that I'm very surprised that no one has spoken this morning about profit. Profit is not an ugly word. You can do so much good if your business is making a profit, perhaps even more good if you're making a loss. We should not be ashamed of this word profit if we're doing good by it. So I suppose that's one thing that will obviously be debated at the summit. So let's get into the nuts and bolts on this. Martin, what's exciting you about the University of Northampton Sustainability Summit, especially on the basis that you've seen so many of these or been involved in so many of these? I'm sure you've got some ideas as to how this could be a success. But what's exciting you about this summit with the university, please?
Well, I think there are a couple of things. I mean, I think earlier on you mentioned the word people, and clearly, change is going to be driven by people, and nobody has all the right answers. So bringing people together to share experiences, share what's not worked particularly well, so you can kind of learn from mistakes. Actually, I think this is a really powerful way in which we can drive more collaborative action. So I think that opportunity to share ideas and test out where you are on this particular journey, bringing together people from different backgrounds, because having those different perspectives helps you as an individual to gain a fuller understanding of what might be needed in order to drive this agenda forward. I think that's, all of those are key ingredients to being for a successful forum. And I think, hats off to the university for pulling this together. I'm really looking forward to it.
And thank you, Martin. And Kelly, you must see this at the various conferences that the FPC runs, that you're potentially learning a lot from the speakers, but actually the networking element can be very powerful as well. Everyone's got the same sort of problems, haven't they? But perhaps some people are more advanced in the problem solving, so that you could learn from them when you meet them at the coffee table or at the bar. You can actually do that collaboration. Kelly, would I be correct?
Absolutely. And again, thanks for the invitation to speak. I think we represent a sector within fresh produce at the moment which is facing some really significant challenges, and we talk about profit, we talk about margin, and things have been very, very tight, and we would all be living in a cave to say that things have not been difficult in our sector just recently. And one thing that can be an unfortunate casualty of that will be sustainability being on the agenda. And this is why I think it's very important that our sector is represented in summits such as this, to keep it on the table, to keep it on message. So I think what's very, very important is that we do ensure that we are engaging with our members and the wider community to say, yes, we know things are really hard, but actually looking at leaner, smarter ways of trying to deliver sustainability could have economic benefits for your business as well. And that we shouldn't just step back just because things are being, it's hard for us. It's to actually to lean in and go, okay, what can we learn? And are there ways that we could do things differently? And not to feel fearful of change, but to actually address it and maybe get some of that motivation and inspiration from other people as well.
Kelly, well done. It's I've used it a couple of times on these broadcasts. That we had a fantastic buyer on from Pick and Pay in South Africa, and she came up with the great phrase of "never waste a crisis." If anyone's not aware, within the fresh produce sector, some businesses are gaining less than 2%, even less than 1% margin on products. And think of help me, Kelly, the 30 to 35% price increases we've seen of the likes of electricity. So it's very hard out there, but like all of you, I'm picking up that businesses want to create change through sustainability. And I was just having a chat with some of my American colleagues before we went online, and I haven't looked at any great detail, but PepsiCo has just announced a $500 million US investment into specific sustainability elements that they want to challenge in the States. And this what's this phraseology, Kelly? Driving societal change. So if we're seeing change coming from those bigger companies, that's actually going to make it easier for the smaller companies that don't have that sort of margin to be able to invest, because in effect, PepsiCo are sort of creating that pathway, aren't they? Which is going to make it. But we still need to learn, which is another reason why we should attend the summit to learn from the experts and all that networking elements. Ebenezer, are Martin and I and Kelly, are we right in our thinking? Are we going to learn what we need to learn from the summit?
Yeah, I think it's spot on, and it's really a pleasure and an inspiration, really, I must say, to have people of the caliber of Martin and Kelly and the organizations that they represent on board, during the summit. So Martin is going to be chairing one of our panel sessions, and Kelly is going to be one of our panelists on one of those panels. And I think it's important for us to work collaboratively to come together to address the very, very big challenges that we face. And it's very interesting, the conversation around margins, because very often, as Kelly said, whenever there's a bit of an economic downturn or a downturn in financial fortunes, it tends to be the case that one of the first things that sacrifices sustainability. And I think we have to have a discussion around that in terms of how we change that mindset and how we begin to see sustainability as actually a solution that can help to improve the bottom line. Because if we're able to come up with more sustainable ways of working, which helps us to reduce costs and which helps us to do more in terms of increase our productivity, then I think over time, what we're going to be realizing that of course it's not just about being kind to the environment, but rather that sustainability is a way for us to actually increase our revenues and increase our profits. And I think that's one of the key things that we will see come out of this summit. I think this discussion and education about how we essentially begin to rethink sustainability going forward into the future.
I just thought of a great example. There's a great slide from Cranfield University that I'm sure that all of you within the university have seen similar to, that they have this graph that shows that companies that invest in their people see better staff retention, better company turnover, better profitability. And Ebenezer, I'm going to put words in your mouth. I think if companies look to adopt the sustainability challenge and do it successfully, they're going to see the same type of results as that Cranfield graph, but on sustainability and in the respect of increased turnover and profitability. But let's speak to a man who's really in the ground about it. Simon Denzel, Blue Skies has been through everything: ash cloud storms, Brexit, air freight issues, and your business would not be operating if you weren't making a profit, but you've got this desire to create this this change through sustainability. What solutions do you think the summit could help us develop collectively to address the shared sustainability challenges from the perception of blue skies, where you're looking to do good, but you've also got to make margin? What are you hoping for from the summit in that respect, please, Simon?
Well, I think one thing we're particularly keen on is innovation, and we've seen what progress we can make through Fresh Pact. So this is an initiative which we have set up with the University of Northampton Centre for Sustainable Business Practices to help us find solutions to mitigate plastic pollution. So, where we're using single-use plastics, for instance, in workwear or in agricultural mulch or in packaging, how can we reduce the impact of that? And of course, we're conscious of the fact that we can't find these solutions on our own. We don't know everything by ourselves, and I think that's quite often the challenge, I guess, is that you're faced with these challenges and you feel under pressure to go out there and find the answers to them. But you maybe you don't have the innovation or the R&D budget to be able to go and develop those yourselves. You're not like a big multinational corporation with a big R&D budget. So through Fresh Pact, we were able to work together with other organisations in the industry, including the Fresh Produce Consortium, to help us to define the problem. What really is the problem that we all want to solve, and how can we work together to find solutions? Because we just don't know what might be around the corner in terms of ideas and solutions that are already out there or on the verge of being discovered. And the summit gives us another opportunity to be able to tap into that kind of approach. Talking to other businesses, other organizations who have the expertise or who have had the ideas to go out there and potentially find something that can really help us to have a big impact.
Denzel, well done. I've just had a WhatsApp message. What's Simon's involvement, Denzel, involvement with the summit? We'd love to hear from him at the summit. Please tell us. Don't be modest. What's your involvement with the summit?
Firstly, Blue Skies are involved. We're sponsoring the summit. We've also got Hugh Pyle, who's our CEO, is going to be giving one of the keynotes on the first day. I'm also going to be there talking about Fresh Pact, so what I just mentioned around innovation, and we're also going to be I'm going to be there talking about a new initiative looking to support businesses, particularly SMEs, to help navigate the increasingly complex arena around sustainability. We're going to be involved in many ways and looking forward to it.
Excellent. Terence from London says that if Simon's talking, I'm going. Where do I book? Just quickly that one, Ebenezer, where do people go?
Yeah, thanks, Max. So you can go to the University of Northampton website. That's www.northampton.ac.uk, and click on the events link. You'll see an events listing, and in there will be a link for the registration page. That's where you can go to book.
Well done. And I've only done 283 of these. It will be tagged top and bottom on this post. I will remember that one day. Amin, Martin, this is an interesting one. So the summit's designed to move us beyond the talk into action, as the likes of Denzel's already alluded to. And we're going to do that by addressing our shared sustainability challenges through collective research and knowledge exchange. How important do you think this approach is going to be to addressing sustainability challenges, Amin?
Yeah, thanks, Max. I agree with everything that was said by colleagues. I think engaging with sustainability and trying to find pertinent solutions to the problems that are found, I think is important. However, it's not only about socio-economic development or ecological protection. I think it's a moral duty of every single individual or organization attending events like this. So I think we are beyond that, thinking that someone else will be solving sustainability problems. You know, it's down to every single one of us to work together and find a solution. And this is what really the summit intends to achieve in May. So yeah.
Well done, Martin. There's some quite punchy words there from Amin as to why we should attend the summit on that basis. So again, how important do you think this approach is going to be to addressing the sustainability challenges, Martin?
It's absolutely vital, and that we are pretty clear about what we have to do. Now we need to get on and do it, and that requires us to organize ourselves in terms of our kind of systems, whether that's around supply chains, whether it's around local collaboration, people being able to engage with one another. It's also how we develop our workforces, so that whole workforce transformation piece, so that we start to, we talk about all jobs greener, and looking at this through the world of work and seeing how through the decisions that people make and the actions that they take in the world of work. So whether it's in procurement, whether it's in design and development, whether it's in logistics, whether it's in operational planning, whatever it might be, actually we need to embed this thinking. So I think the summit is a really effective way of bringing people together who are working in different contexts, working potentially in different countries and different places, and seeing how they can collaborate to drive the change that is absolutely crucial. I think the other thing I just want to pick up on is a real opportunity at the summit is to break out from just talking about climate change. Climate change is absolutely critical, but it's not the only challenge that we face. And I think the holistic nature of this program and the forum is really exciting. It gives us that holistic big picture. So yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic.
And Terence, question from Terence. Terence is busy again today. Martin, are you speaking at the summit? I know we talked about it earlier, but if you could just reinforce that, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll be there, and I'm chairing a panel, so I've got lots of exciting people to be discussing lots of these key issues with. So really looking forward to it.
Excellent. And we talked about it before in previous broadcasts, but I always use the very good example of Legal and General. Legal and General are a very large pension fund in the UK, and some 3 years ago, might be about 4 years ago, they stated that if all of the major 100 companies that they invested in didn't have a diversified board by the end of 2022, Legal and General would remove funding from those businesses. And quelle surprise, the bulk of those businesses have now got a diversified board because they were in effect shocked by that investor to do something about it. And I don't know whether it's right or wrong as a business practice, but you can see that this is going to happen as well, and it's sort of a slightly different way, that if businesses don't adapt to have the sustainability model, they're not going to be they're going to be null and void. Kelly, I'll give you a direct example about fresh produce. There's a fresh produce company that we obviously won't name, and they recently lost a tender to discounter because they didn't have a sustainability policy. They've now employed a sustainability consultant who's putting in that policy for the business and all of their growers on an international basis. So we've already got that positive change. And Kelly, you must be seeing this with the likes of your graduate programs and the graduate fairs that you run. That we're definitely seeing that from a recruitment perspective, that companies that don't walk the talk in the respect of sustainability, graduates are just not attracted to go to them. Companies have got to be on message to make sure that they're attractive to that future workforce. Kelly, are you seeing the same at the FPC?
Absolutely. I think where you see a business that only reacts when something's been externally imposed on them is sad, and that they haven't felt that they've been able to make that move, under their own agency. And I think any graduate or any young person wanting to go into our industry particularly, and graduates are not the only entry point. We're seeing much younger, very young adults wanting to go in, and even at 16, 18-year-olds, they are very much more environmentally aware of what is expected of business than you would absolutely think. So yes, we are seeing that. I think no longer are we looking at the agric graduates of the past that are, I speak as one, that is exactly how I thought I had to enter into the fresh produce industry, is to be an agricultural graduate. But that's no longer the case. And I think there's some incredible courses out there that offer sustainability at their core. And we would, as an industry, they're going to be where the money is. And there is an interesting view, I think, as well, that the people who are going to save the world are going to be those people who actually hold the purse strings, and that it will be sustainability through accountancy. And it will be that could be the way that it goes, and it won't be the agronomists, it will be the people who are actually managing the funds. So I think that's very, very interesting, and it would be great to see how that develops.
Yeah, Kelly, well said. Unfortunately, money talks, doesn't it? But if it creates that change that we all want to see on a sustainability basis, that's good for all. Do you want to just quickly give a quick? I'm sure that everyone from the University of Northampton will be happy with it. We've just missed the graduate fair from the FPC that I believe was I did attend, but wasn't there for too long. But I believe it was very successful. But you run a yearly event, don't you, to attract graduates into the sector?
Absolutely, yeah. So this year it was in March. We invited a range of universities to come and visit. We put buses on for them, shipped them in. And what was very, very interesting is that a huge proportion of those graduates who were coming had sustainability in there. And they were either as postgrads or they were undergraduates. And they were really, really interested to try and find out how they access our industry, the fresh produce industry. So that was very, very encouraging to see that. And yes, it will be running again next year as well. And we will happily put on as many buses as we need to get those people to us.
Excellent. Well done. I've just had a question from WhatsApp. I mean, it's a bit of a bizarre question, and I know this person, so I'm going to tell them off later. Is there an age range for the summit? How ridiculous. This is for students, all the way to those that have an interest. And it's covering so many sectors, from food, drink, logistics, and footwear even. So if you're at all curious about wanting to create a change, come to the summit, because you're going to meet so many interesting people. Then just my word for that I've really learned from doing so many of these broadcasts over the last 2-3 years is collaboration. Ebenezer, how important do you think it is for us to collaborate in order to address our shared sustainability challenges? Do you think we can get there quicker by collaborating?
Yes, thanks, Max. I think it's we don't have a choice really, because the problems that we face are problems. The sustainability challenges are ones that touch us all, and no one particular industry, no one particular group, no one particular individual, no one particular country can address these challenges on its own. So we have no choice but to collaborate. And so what we're trying to do with the summit is to bring all these different stakeholder groups together to identify those sustainability challenges that we share, because there are lots of sustainability challenges, both on the environmental and social side. And the point that Martin raised is very important, because we're not just going to be focusing on climate change, although that's very important. We're going to be focusing also on some of the social sustainability challenges. So, the key thing, amongst other things, that we want to really be able to do at the summit is to identify those specific sustainability challenges that are shared amongst all of those attendee organizations. And that will then allow us to really draw up a focused and surgical roadmap to addressing those specific challenges through collaborative research and knowledge exchange, using the long-term strategy that we have for the summit. So obviously, that will entail a lot of work, but I think as a university, we're committed to that. And we know that we're not going to be in the trenches alone. We know that we will have, the likes of the FPC, the likes of AIMA, and all the other sponsors and all the other organizations taking part, working with us. And we're confident that we can, in 5 or 10 years' time, look back on this period to say, well, this is when we started this journey to address our shared sustainability challenges. We started at point X, and we can see that we've made progress with all of these organizations, because they've been able to move from point X to point Y. And that's the exciting thing, about this summit for me.
Yeah, well done. If you remember Stuart Rose from M&S, when they were coming out with the environmental plan, it was called Plan A, and as the motto went, Plan A, because there is no Plan B. And I know there's been a lot of water under the bridge subsequently, but what an important statement that was. And Martin, can we pivot to more sustainable commercial practices, do you think, without working more closely together? Or is this another reason why we need to attend the summit, so that we do work closely together?
I think I've mentioned, no one organisation has got all the answers. And if you haven't got all the answers, then you need to kind of find out and work with people who have. And so underpinning all of that is partnership and collaboration. What I would say is that working in partnership is actually quite hard. Sometimes, ideally, because you're working with different people, they've got different drivers potentially. So finding out what those shared common objectives are, working out how you can learn from them, how you can contribute as well. I think that helps to drive more innovative solutions, but also helps to catalyze change at a greater pace. I think we need both of those. So I'm really looking forward to collaborating as well, because we need to be part of this. We set professional standards. We need to make sure they're relevant. We're skilling people up to do the work that needs to be done. So we're constantly evolving and developing, and the summit is going to be a great opportunity to test those ideas and learn from other people. So.
Excellent, Martin. Thank you. Kelly, an interesting question from Veronica in Kent, who's a student, and she's asking directly of you, Kelly. I've never been to a conference of this magnitude before. What's the best way to get the most out of it? Kelly, what do you think?
I would say be brave. Having watched the students in our previous one, I would say be brave and go up and introduce yourself, shake a hand, look in the eye and say, I want to be a part of this. How can I do that? And really engage, because conferences are not about sitting listening to experts giving you their opinion. You probably, if you are engaged in a student, you are probably at the forefront of a really bright mind that we're looking for, and you may have solutions that we haven't even thought of. So what I wouldn't say is sit there and just take in the day. I would say what you need to do is make yourself known, put your head above the parapet, ask a question, go with information, go with ideas, and go and find people and go and talk to them, because they will be thrilled to hear from you.
Excellent. Well done, Kelly. Well done. Huge applause for that one, Veronica. And if you at all want your hand holding, come and see myself or Kelly, and point at the person that you want to be introduced to. Kelly, I hope this is okay. And we'll take you over to them, because I'm sure, as Kelly's intimated, everyone, when in this sort of environment, everyone's going to be so, if it's the right word, charitable, that they want to help people like you, Veronica. So just get involved. Main thing to do is sign up. So look at the University of Northampton Sustainability Summit online, and you'll be there. Amin, we're just starting to run out of time, but Amin, as well as the students that seem to be already interested in this, can you just give us your thoughts as to what sort of businesses, what range of businesses, whether they be practical businesses such as Simons and Blue Skies, or whether it should be consultancy businesses, or whether it should be other educational establishments? Who would you like to be involved in, Amin, please?
Yeah, thanks, Max. I think it's not just about a particular group of businesses. I think we should be looking at a wide range of organizations, the for-profit organizations, the charity sector, academics like myself and Ebenezer and a few other colleagues who are part of this summit, sustainability enthusiasts, and really all stakeholders would need to take part. Why is it that important? Because any solutions that is going to be devised has to look at the interests of all stakeholders, and it doesn't have to be just for a particular group of businesses or academics or just sustainability enthusiasts. And of course, the policymakers play an important role here. That's the governance part of the sustainability, and they also have a key role to play when it comes to solving sustainability challenges.
Well done. Ebenezer, do you want to wrap up for us?
Yeah, thanks, Max. Yeah, really excited about the Sustainability Summit. In 1856, a very little known American scientist by the name of Eunice Foote conducting an experiment where she wanted to find out what the impact of greenhouse gases were on the environment. And she wrote a paper in which she said that her findings were that a concentrated amount of greenhouse gases would result in effectively global warming. And since then, we've been on a rendezvous with history. That discovery has posed a question to us that we've not been able to answer. And that question is this, how do we work together to address the very key challenges posed to us, both social and environmental, of that, of that discovery? And I think what excites me is the fact that we're going to be pursuing a journey to do exactly that at the summit, but also we're not going to be doing it on our own. We're going to have partnerships with amazing organizations such as Beanstalk Global, with Simon and the likes of Blue Skies, with Kelly and the likes of the FPC, with Martin and the likes of AIMA, and also all the other tens of other organizations that are going to be attending the summit, whether as sponsors, whether obviously as delegates, or whether as speakers. And all together, we're going to try and with some audacity, really pursue a journey, I think, which helps us to address all of our shared sustainability challenges in the long term. So this is a long-term project, and I'm very, very excited. And I encourage everyone who's listening to join us on this exciting journey, because I think it will have shared benefits for all of us.
Excellent. Thank you, Ebenezer. So just to wrap up, Henry from Cornwall, he always likes getting a bit to the edge. He wants to, he's going to attend, but he wants to know, what will he get out of attending the University of Northampton Sustainability Summit 2023? What will he get out of attending the summit? Denzel, what's your thoughts, please?
Well, I think I said it on the last broadcast, but one thing I'm really looking forward to and hoping to get out of the summit is a shared agreement. One thing the summit is aiming for is to agree an accord. I think it will be called the Northampton Accord, where we all of us that they're present will agree the way forward. Don't know what that will be yet, but it will bring us all together, it will unite us all together. Hopefully bringing on board some of the ideas that we've discussed during the summit. And as Ebenezer talked about as well, it's not going to end there. We're going to meet the year after that, and probably in between as well, to talk about progress, to continue to share ideas, and make this a real exciting journey, not just a talking shop.
Well done, creating the difference. Martin, what will people get from attending the summit in your views, please?
I'm going to boil it down to something that I'm going to call an injection of enthusiasm, because the challenges that we face are massive, and people can, working individually, be a little bit daunted by the scale of what needs to be done. I think coming to the summit will give you new insights into how you can take action that will drive positive change. So I think we all need that injection of enthusiasm every now and again to keep our spirits up and drive us forward. So come along and join in the fun.
Excellent. Amin.
Yeah, thanks, Max. I think the summit will be about partnership. I think everyone talked about it. It's about removing those duplicated efforts and resources when it comes to solving these problems. It would also be about sharing good practices between organizations, and cooperation and partnership really unlocks some of those novel business practices, novel technologies that will be instrumental in solving the challenges to be identified actually at the summit.
Excellent. Thank you, Amin. Kelly.
What I would really love, I guess, out of this summit is that we reach areas of the industry and wider industries that have been previously disengaged, and that we're reaching out to the hidden middle, where we know that certainly part of our sectors, we know that certainly at the growing end, they've got quite a lot of support in terms of platforms and opportunities in terms of sustainability, and they've got certification there, which is readily inclusive. And then, we have packers, processors who also have, platforms and certification, but then there is a hidden middle for us that can be the catering wholesale sector. So for us, what I would love to see are people who are reaching out to this summit who have previously felt disengaged or not part of a bigger picture. And that's certainly where we're going to be promoting really heavily to ensure that it's not just sustainability experts that feel that this is a conference, a summit for them, that it could be an absolute newbie that doesn't know where to begin and doesn't have that step. So that would be a huge aspiration from my point of view, is that we are able to attract an audience that had previously felt that they were not part of this party. So that's where I'm going to go with it.
Kelly, you're brilliant. Ebenezer, come on, wrap up for us for the second time. This is the final time, I promise you. But I'm going to let Ebenezer talk. But just everyone, if you listen to these people that we've got on, and they're just a soupçon of what we're actually going to see at the summit. So can you imagine what the rest of the summit on the 15th and 16th of May is going to be like? Ebenezer, wrap up for us properly this time.
Yeah, thanks, Max. So just saying to everyone out there, be there with us 15th to 16th of May. 2023 at the University of Northampton's Waterside campus. Be there, be part of the solution, be on this journey with us. Come and learn about sustainability, come and learn about best practice, come and also share your own best practice, but much more importantly, come and be part of this conversation about us identifying our shared sustainability challenges and us highlighting those solutions that we could develop collaboratively together as we devise this roadmap for the future, to really make progress on our shared sustainability challenges. Look forward to seeing you there.
Excellent. And Henry from Cornwall says, "You've sold it to me. I'll be bringing a carload." So well done, everyone. So thank you very much. We've got another broadcast coming up prior to the actual summit itself, because we really want to push this message out because it is so important. But if you just listen to the luminaries that we've had on today, there's no reason to attend. 15th, 16th of May, you're gonna gain so much from it. Adapting to a changing world, identifying our shared sustainability challenges. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you very shortly, if not at the summit. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.